Okay, guys, we'll go ahead and get started. Can you guys hear me? I have two computers on, so if I turn the other one on to make sure I can hear myself, it'll like freak out on me. Okay, thanks, Sarah. Okay, so I'll turn my camera on real quick. I just got out of the shower, so don't mind my hair. We went to the river today, so I'm a little all messy. But I'm Coach Silver. I know I've met Sarah before and Rachel, so it's nice to meet you, Mr. Montoya. So we just had a couple of things to go over today. So let's see. Can you click for me? There you go. So this year there are two teams, the CIF team and the school team. The CIF team can only consist of high school students because of CIF rules. So the CIF team is going to compete at Sharp International Cheer Competitions, and Sharp is the organization we go through for cheer competitions. And they also compete at the CIF Southern Section Traditional Competitive Cheer Championships. It's a mouthful. They must maintain a 2.5 GPA to attend competitions. I will do grade checks about a week before competition. If you are not at 2.5, you will have to meet with me and we'll meet with your teachers and figure out how we can help you increase your grades, whether that's tutoring, going to peer tutoring after school, individual teacher tutoring, and any makeup assignments you need to make up. You are also going to perform your competition routine at the homecoming football game and senior basketball game, or senior night basketball game. And you're going to receive a CIF Letterman patch. The other team, which comprises of some of the students from the CIF team and the school team, or the other team, it could be middle school and high school. You are going to cheer at all basketball and football games. You're also going to compete at Sharp International Cheer Competitions. You will not be allowed to go to CIF competitions. You will also not be allowed at CIF practices if you are a middle schooler. CIF is very particular with the rules and regulations it has for middle schoolers meeting with high schoolers. So we have to have separate practices. You're also going to be required to be present at school functions. We came to back to school night last year. I'm planning on having you guys welcome students on the first day of school in August, and of course pep rallies. Same thing, you must maintain a 2.5 GPA, and you're going to receive a cheer team Letterman patch. Good news, if you're on both teams, you get both patches, but you have twice the responsibilities. This is the tentative practice schedule I have. I still have to speak to Mr. Estrada, Coach Dickinson, and figure out football and volleyball practices. And then ultimately, when we get to winter sports, I have to speak to Coach Marshall and Coach Jennings about basketball. But CIF will meet Wednesdays from 4:30 to 6:30. I pushed the practice back a little bit because we do have students that are doing multiple sports and athletic training. So it's a little bit easier just having a later practice that day. And then the school team will meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2:30 to 5:30. Any cheerleaders on volleyball and cross country, I'm going to communicate with Coach Estrada and Coach Luther to make sure you're filling both requirements wherever you need to be. But it's also going to require you to communicate with your coaches as well. So let me know if something happens, if something changes, and let them know as well. Okay. I know that the middle school is bringing in middle school softball next year and baseball. And unlike high school, that is a fall sport. So if your student is a middle school student and wants to do softball and baseball, I'm not going to prevent them to doing that, but we just need to work things out. So your competition schedule. If you're on the CIF team, here's the big long competition title. The CIF Southern Sectional Traditional Cheerleading Championships is in Riverside, California. And I don't know the date yet. It comes out usually later in the year, but it's usually in January on a Saturday. But we'll have well more of advanced notice than this last year. This year was a little bit difficult since we were a CIF sport for the first time. We didn't know how to go about things. But Coach Jennings has been working really hard to make sure he is up to knowledge on all of the CIF cheer rules and when everything happens. The Sharp competitions this year we're going to go to, there are 3. Both teams go to all 3 of these competitions. Both are actually at, or 2 of the 3 are at Adelanto High School, so your parents can attend. It's close to home. We don't have to worry about too much travel. The first one's on November 4th, and then the second one is on February 4th. Oh, I just realized there's a typo. My bad. The Knott's Berry Farm State Championship is not the same day as Adelanto High School. It's actually the 10th, whatever the next Saturday after that is. It's either the 10th or 11th. It's this next week right after. So it's going to wrap up our season pretty quickly in February instead of going into March, because I know into March the team was getting a little bit frustrated. Let's see. Here are our uniforms. I could not find a picture of the boys' uniform. I'm sorry, Cameron. They sent it to me in a Zoom meeting and now I can't find it. But the boys' uniform is very similar to this. The boys' uniform, I'm still waiting on an estimate from. The girls' uniform, this year we have a little bit more expensive of uniforms. They're approaching $290. However, the reason we are going with more expensive uniforms this year is that a lot of the girls were having issues with their uniforms. I know Cameron's would get random holes in it, and I some other people were saying that their logos are starting to come off. So we're looking at getting uniforms from Varsity Cheer. They are a very, very well-known brand. And since we are going to be getting more expensive uniforms, these uniforms are going to be here for 2 years instead of just one. They're also going to be having rhinestones on them. And that's something your student will have to take really good care of. I've been told by our rep that the glue that holds on the rhinestones is heat activated. So we cannot leave uniforms in the cars or anything like that during hot summer days here because the glue for the rhinestones will come off. She said it's a very easy, simple fix with E6000, which is a common rhinestoning glue, but it's just something we don't want to have to worry about. We do have 3 boys that will not be dancing, that will be stunting only, and we're going to look into alternate uniforms for them. Just like most stunting college teams have, they use they use jerseys. So that's something else our rep is looking into, and we'll have that settled out a little bit sooner. So in addition to going with a more expensive brand, we get more perks. On Tuesday, May 17th, your student will have to stay after school, and our rep, Tammy, she's amazing, great lady. She's going to be coming to school to size your student. You're welcome to come that day as well to make sure that your student is getting the appropriate size uniform that they need and that you feel will best suit them for a year, 2 years if they're on the team next year. When you get there, they will size you, tell you what size to get, and then they're going to add those sizes into your payment portal. That's where you go in and pay for it. And then you can also add accessories such as shoes, warm-ups, backpacks, all that stuff is available on Varsity's website. We had a really, really big problem with skirt lengths last year. Some of my girls' skirts rode up a lot or they were just too short, even them standing there. So with Varsity, we have the ability to add and subtract length to your skirts and keep your waist the same size. So that way you don't have a super short skirt because you have a little bit bigger of a bottom. And I completely understand that problem. And I think that's great for students, and it's no additional charge. So it's really, really nice going with a more expensive company because we have better perks and we're paying for better quality material that your student will, really use up this year. We do lots of events. We spent lots of hours in those uniforms. Might as well get good use of them. The other thing that we have coming up that is, it is mandatory. I know it's hard to do stuff over the summer. If you have commitment issues, if you have travel issues, please let me know. But this is a great opportunity for your student. We have a 3-day summer camp. It's $219 a person. And that sounds like a lot. I know it's a lot. But what you get out of the camp is super, super beneficial for your student, especially if they are looking at cheering all throughout middle school and high school and possibly into college. The camp is $219 a person. However, we are going to be doing some fundraisers throughout the summer and the rest of the spring semester to offset that cost. We do have to have a $50 deposit on May 17th. That is to hold your spot for camp. I am going to be emailing our camp rep on Monday to let her know the total amount of students that we have coming. So the total number of students on the team. And I'm hoping that the $50 deposit is all that you have to pay out of pocket. As a parent, I'm going to try to make sure we fundraise enough that you don't have to pay anything more than $50. At camp, where you're going to get skills training, whether that's stunting, tumbling, motions, anything like that. I'm also going to be paying to go to camp. I pay and I actually receive coach's education while I'm there. On safety, your student's going to learn some safety skills. You will get some one-on-one attention with camp leaders. Your student will be able to get advice and learn how to do different skills with a one-on-one coach. And there's a lot of team bonding. They do lots of events and games. And whether your goal is to become a more cohesive team, mastering a stunt specifically, or pirouette, they do dance there as well. So I know I have a couple dancers on the team. Varsity is going to help us get there. They are actually the largest camp operator in the world, and they're led by experts in cheerleading and dance training. Oh, I forgot to mention, it is at Sultana. So we will just be traveling there all 3 days. We'll meet at the high school, travel there, whether it be van or bus. I know I have some great parents that help volunteer and drive students. One way or another, we're going to get to camp. After camp is over, the next day we start summer conditioning for the last week and a half of July 20th through 28th, just the school days. Both school team and CIF team will be training, and we'll be training from 10 to 4. And it's not going to be just straight training the whole time, so your student isn't going to be exhausted by the time they come home. We're going to do a lot of team bonding. We're going to do a lot of planning, and just, you know, getting ready to spend the year ahead together. It's very important that our team, not necessarily our friends, but they have to learn to trust each other. When we're throwing girls in the air and, you know, they're 10, 12 feet up in the air, they have to have a lot of trust in their team around them. And I have a really big view that they have to be cohesive as a group. So we spend a lot of time bonding and getting to know each other very well. And that's pretty much it for the information I have. I wanted to just give an outline of what financially it's going to look like for the year, what commitments they're making, and just make sure that they're fully aware of everything that's going on in cheer, and give it an open floor to you guys to ask any questions that you may have. Sarah, I'm going to try to do fundraising for uniforms. I don't know when they need the payment for those by. So if it's just a deposit and then you can make payments on it up until a certain date, then that's what I'm going to hope for. We can just make a deposit and then try to fundraise. And we do have money in the account, but I don't want to put us in a deficit. The school is in a deficit, so trying to keep us above ground is really helpful. I'm going to be reaching out to local businesses and see if they would sponsor us, like we had BNSF as a sponsor this year. Rachel, fall tryouts will be the first week of school. I don't know the exact date. I haven't set it yet because usually we get so many kids the first week of school, adding in a day or two late because of summer registration and everything. But it should be the first week of school. That way we can order their uniforms and get them here as soon as possible. If your student tries out during the fall, their uniforms will be a little late, but we will work on getting them a shirt and pants to be semi-cohesive with the group. Summer practices, let me go back. Oops, is that it? So it's just the 20th through the 28th. I think that starts on a Thursday, so the 20th is a Thursday. So 20th and 21st is Thursday, Friday, and then Monday through Friday the next week. So it's a full week and a half almost. Is there anything student needs for summer camp? So they'll just have to wear, they usually like us to wear our uniforms, but I don't think we'll have our uniforms in time by then. I'm going to do some designs. One of our parents, Betty Hillquist, is really good at making shirts. We're going to look at getting shirts made. I haven't told her yet. This is me telling her when she watches this video later. I want to make t-shirts that the girls can wear, and Cameron and the other boys, that they can all match each other and at least go to camp in matching shirts and just athletic pants, water, a snack for the day. That's a really good question, Sarah. I'm opening up conditioning to anybody that wants to join the team in the fall. I'm going to be speaking to the athletic department and Mr. Bates and make it a requirement that they have to attend summer conditioning, because they're going to be behind. They are, no matter which way you look at it. Even if they practice at home, it's not the same as practicing with the team. But making things outside of school, calendar mandatory is very, very difficult. So that's something I have to speak to them. And if you have any ideas, I'd be more than happy to hear it. Like I said, it's very difficult to do that, but they're just going to be behind and have to sit out until they're fully ready to join the team. Anybody have anything else they wanted to ask? I know that there was questions about fundraising for the uniforms too. I haven't been told when our payments have to be due. I know that you get set up with your payment portal at the fitting event or fitting meeting, not event, fitting meeting. So then I will know more information about when payments are due. I do know that we have to have the $50 per person deposit for camp by June 17th. It has to be, it's 2 months out from the event, or sorry, May 17th. May 17th is when we have to have deposits for the clinic. And then June 17th is when final payments need to be in for clinic or camp. So we have time to fundraise and gain money for those events. Anything else? Okay, if no one else has anything, that's just some stuff I wanted to go over and have it available for parents to go back and look at. And like I said, I will post this on YouTube. I'm pretty sure all of our students know our YouTube page, and I'll also put the link in our Instagram bio. So if no one has any other questions, you guys are free to go. And I look forward to working with your students this year. And I will send out an email reminder about the fitting meeting next month. But it was nice to talk to all of you and answer all your questions. Thank you, Sarah. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Mr. Montoya. Thanks, Rachel.